Hello, hello, hello. This is a good beat. I like this. What's good, Tyler? Welcome to the stream. We'll give a few minutes. I'm early here. Oh, happy Monday. Dude, I swear, Sunday nights are worse than Monday nights. Monday nights are like, you made it through Monday, you know? And then it's just like, all right, Tuesday's just whatever day. Wednesday, you're like halfway done. But man, Sunday night, like 7:30, 8 p.m. on a Sunday night, that's worse than a Monday night. Weekend's like already over. You're just like, oh man, I gotta wake up, go to work. Maybe that's like a 9 to 5 person's, you know, thought process. But I'm always in a better mood Monday nights than I am Sunday nights. It's kind of backwards. What's up, Cade Sawinski? I think you were here last time. Called you out for your Polish name. Like Asentaski. Right? Let me see. Hold on, I got my Epic Pen. I've never used, so this is what I use, this tool here, to draw on the screen and stuff. I think I paid for the pro version strictly because I used it so much that I kind of felt for the developers. It was like, I need to support these guys. But I should have a text tool. Do they not have a text tool? That's kind of crazy if they don't. I don't change anything except for the color, and I have different sort of keyboard shortcuts for this. All right, this looks like it matches. All right, Ravenwood High School for Junior Colson here. All right, we'll give another minute here. How are you guys' Mondays going? Is the music too loud? I can see should be at the right level, but let me know if that's too loud. I'll be shifting my head over here soon. Oh no, this doesn't have the right YouTube chat. Give me a second. Give me a hot second. Here we go. Properties. Boom. Oh, I moved this one up, didn't I? All right, we'll move this back down. There we go. Look at us figuring things out. Will Johnson, welcome Clucas Gaming. Will Johnson just tweeted, big news coming tomorrow. Do you think that a transfer or a recruit could be coming, or is he just going to the All-American game? To have the secret thing up with the M, it's got to be a commitment. I don't think he would do that for like an All-American game. That seems like a commitment. Oh, this seems a little loud. Hold on. This music. So that seems like a commitment. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say expect a commitment. Could be a transfer. And actually, it might be more likely to be a transfer. Oh, that's way too loud. Sorry, I'm trying to get this music to be working for you guys. There we go. That's better. So yeah, I would say that's more likely a transfer than a recruit. Just because I think if anyone's going to commit, it's likely going to be in the June visits. But I don't know. All right, Junior Colson time. Let me bring up my recruit review. Her freshman feature. What am I doing? Recruit review is what I did when I was at MGO Fish. Those guys over there. But nope. Junior Colson. All right, if you missed this full video here, let me move this out of the way.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen?
Stevenception right here. So here I covered all of the recruitment, scouting, everything from his film. I put his rankings, metrics, everything there. So if you missed that, I'll put a link in the description here or in the live chat. So definitely bookmark that. Watch that after I'm done here. But I didn't really go in depth on his film. So let's start right away with, actually, let's go to Twitter. So this is one this is from June 30th, 2020. And this is Junior Colson down here. This is Junior Colson right here. And so he had listed a 4.77 40 time, right? And let me move my face over here. So he had listed a 4.77 40. This one, it said, what was this? 4.57. All right. How reputable is this? It's hand timed. Okay. But that 4.77 was from 2019. This is from about a year ago. So it is hand timed, but he's likely closer to the 4.6s at this point. But that's pretty good, right? You see the guy at the end there, hand timing. But if he made that big of a leap, that would be pretty impressive. Or that 4.77 could have just been a bad day, right? But he's likely to be like in the 4.6s electronically timed. So that's really good, right? Just showing that this tweet, you can see 4.57 at 6'3", 228. So that's pretty big. And then I'll just show a couple other Twitter videos. This one's from EJ Holland. Junior Colson returns kicks for his teams. That size kind of reminds me of Kwity Paye, how he would just run over a bunch of Rhode Island guys, and as a running back. And Junior Colson, former wide receiver as well. And you know that looks pretty good. He looks pretty natural. Just shows the athleticism that he brings as a larger linebacker. So that's impressive. And then the final one here is just a good angle, again, from EJ Holland here. Let me make sure it's muted. And you can see him coming off the edge here. Just blows through the entire backfield, creates a turnover as well, right? But yeah, so he's working as like a stand-up outside linebacker right here. And he just blows by this tight end or whatever this guy is on the edge. Or actually, no, it's this poor tackle trying to get outside, and he's just, it's not going to work, buddy. And he just blows up the running back, pushes him into the quarterback, just chaos. And there's your turnover. So yeah, just a couple snippets. So let's get into sophomore film first. Okay, 4.5 minutes, and then we'll dive into his senior season 2019. Or I'm sorry, his junior year. He did not have senior year film. We can scour for individual highlights. But let's just start sophomore season. So keep in mind, this is a young Junior Colson and his talents here. So this is one thing that'll stand out a lot. Him operating in space. Good straight line speed right there. Something that I think popped out right away and was pretty noticeable. So again, dropping back in coverage there. He doesn't really pop out as a, and this is just the huddle film. It's not me, I swear. He doesn't really like pop people too hard, right? He's forceful in his hits. A little high on that one, but he's a very sure tackler, right? He's not lowering his shoulder and just throwing a shoulder into a guy. He's usually wrapping up, and that big part of that I think is his longer frame. He seemingly has a pretty good wingspan as well, and he puts that to good use as a result. Maybe not an overly wingspan looking at him here, but I think his arm length did increase over time. But yeah, he fits kind of that mold, and he was pitched on being kind of that Peppers type guy, right? He doesn't have the same build, right? Because he's like 6'2", 6'3", 230 already. He's definitely on the linebacker side of that, but he can operate in space really well. He understands spacing, both in the pass game and in the run game. He's patient. See here, operating in space, able to make a break here, get to the outside. Would have liked to see him make a break there as well. Yeah, and Let's Toast Media, good comment there. He had like 175 tackles, 170 something tackles his junior year, which is just insane. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a number that big. I didn't really check, but it has to be a single season record in at least the state of Tennessee, at least his program as well. But yeah, this is okay. So this clip is something that really I like, because he's standing out here. He has probably multiple duties out here on guarding the flat. Where's my marker here? Right, he probably has like to the flat responsibilities as well, but he diagnoses the play really well, breaks down, and then accelerates into the play here. So this is something that stands out a lot, is he's able to like break down really well and then really like load up and make contact. So he's not coming full speed like all the time. He understands when he has to break down. He understands his responsibility, and that's really important. He redirects, he takes good angles, and I mean, like Toast in the comments said, 177 tackles. You don't get to 177 tackles without being in the right place at the right time, and you do that by playing disciplined. And that's something that you'll see quite a bit. He's usually in control. Something we don't see a whole lot there. He kind of disengaged, right? He had a blocker come out to him. He hasn't like shown that a whole lot of film, right? You'd like for him at the point of contact here, you'd like for him to like really load up and disengage with him. Instead, he's just kind of like shuffling around him here. So he will need to improve at the point of contact. There's going to be linemen coming to get him, and he just didn't seemingly have a whole lot of affinity for disengaging blockers, using his hands, really fighting through blockers. So that's something that I just need to see more of. Does he have the capabilities? Maybe. He just wasn't asked to do as much. Now, he can fight his way through traffic, right? Like right there, he has good lateral movement to find the right hole and to mirror a running back. But right there, right? He didn't really disengage there. He didn't really pop into the lineman. And that's something that will just have to be developed if he's going to make a move inside. If he's going to be on the outside, he can get by without that, but as you grow in the college game, as he grows, he's going to need to develop that skill set. You're going to have guys you need to fight through and not around. But you can see that edge speed, right? He shows that off like 4.5, 4.6, something in that range. And with that size, again, you're going to need those guys. Let me turn down this music a little bit. Seems a little loud. Okay, I missed this play. Whoa, what the hell happened there? Hold on, you see this on... Hold on. Where is he on this play? I see like way too many things. Okay, he's on the left side here. Here. Yeah, again, he does a good job like moving laterally, right? Like there are guys that he has to like fight through, but he's not blowing them back, right? He's just kind of like wading his way through. So he has good like lateral movement to do that, but like he's not fighting through the traffic. He isn't playing too violent. So again, yeah, it's not like a bad thing, but it's just something he'll need to improve on. Look at the play over here at the end. This is what I like was distracted by. You have these two guys right here. Just rips his helmet off, man. How's that not a flag? Maybe it was. Okay. Again, good lateral movement, right? This is what I really like to see out of him. He's playing contain right here, right? Because you got the running back. Let's see, what's my other color? You got the running back going here. So he's just shuffling, and then he kind of explodes. So he plays really disciplined. Right? He's looking for the cutback lane here. Shuffle, sees the open gap, takes it, boom, sure tackler, wraps up. And that's good. Here again, playing the option here, good job, right? He forced the quarterback to make a decision inside and then wrapped him up. Here in space, coming up on the quarterback, good team tackle. Nothing's like truly popping here, like you could see that he has the tools, right? Like still needs to grow a little bit here. I think he's probably closer to 200 pounds or so. But he has good discipline, relatively good footwork, just not fighting through traffic, not as aggressive as someone like him should be and needs to be at the next level. But he's just kind of like a jumbo safety his sophomore year, it looks like. Kind of just like guy without a position. There, good job on the outside. Good angle. Okay, that's sophomore year. Let's go to junior year. And then we'll go to single game. Yeah, if our coaches can give him the tools, 6'3", 230 with, high 4.5 speed or something, I mean, there's a need for those kind of guys. And the thing that I said about his skill set is, remember when you had like a Jabril Peppers or even Click Hudson against Wisconsin, where you constantly have to battle against tight ends, constantly have a pulling guard against him or whatnot? You need those guys who can play that linebacker safety hybrid role in any defense. I don't care whether you call him a Viper or not, but in those games especially, if you're on the safety side of that, like Peppers or Cleek Hudson, you're at a huge disadvantage. You need a guy who can stand up to an H-back, a tight end, a pulling guard, anything like that. And Junior Colson's the exact type of guy that can guard a tight end and also take on a block from an offensive lineman. And that's going to be his role, and that's where he'll fill out. So he already looks a little bit faster here his junior year. Looks a little bit more filled out. I wish we had his full senior highlights. Just don't have those. There on the stunt, again, a straight line speed. You can see it popping up there. Getting him on a stunt is going to be really scary. And that's really, if you listen to the other video I posted earlier today, get him in these exact scenarios. Get him rushing the passer on third downs, because he can also drop back in coverage, right? Look at that speed, that closing speed especially. Like, get him on pass rush situations. Even if you're not setting him on the blitz, he can operate in a zone, right? He has that sort of speed. And him rushing the passer, you can see he can bend around the edge pretty well. And that's really where his bread and butter is going to be early on in his career. Now, if he develops as an inside linebacker, if he gets a little bit bigger, I think if he can hack it, right? Almost got the recovery there, but big hit. He's bringing a little bit more on these hits, right? Sophomore year, he was kind of not accepting it, but not hitting with as much authority. Here, you can see he's really affecting people. This is a great clip just on kind of what I was saying, where he can really operate well in space. He does a really good job shuffling, right? Look at his eyes here. You can see handoff, gets up. You can see kind of Olay's 55 here. Keeps his outside arm free, right? He's waiting for the play to get outside here. He's waiting. Can see a couple other guys coming out. So good patience, right? He's not flying upfield. Wait, boom. And then he commits. Good hit. Here again, patient. Where's it going? Good play there. That's what I'm talking about, man. He can drop back in coverage. Former wide receiver. Okay, I mentioned that earlier, but former wide receiver, he has good hand skills. So that'll be really valuable too. Here he is, kind of like a stand-up end. Again, one thing there, he has good speed, but you'd like to see him affect the tight end here, right? Like, he didn't really move this guy off the ball, right? He didn't really move him once he engaged here. He's more just waiting, which you don't really have to, but you'd like to see him deliver more of a punch. Get more effect on that. I'll talk about that, Ryan Leone, regarding Joe Milton at the end. Leave some time at the end there. But yeah, I would just like to see Junior Colson here be a little bit more aggressive when taking on blocks or engaging those guys on the line of scrimmage. It's the only thing that I consistently didn't see, that just seemingly he didn't really have to develop or just wasn't put in those scenarios too often. But again, operating space, he can break down really well. Really good shuffling skills, really good lateral movement. Get around the edge there, good speed. Track that guy down pretty quickly. See here, kind of a stand-up edge as well. I don't think his future isn't going to be at edge. He offers way too much, I think, in the pass game. As a linebacker, I don't think they'll look for him. I think his true playing weight will be around 235, 240. He's already close to it. And if he wants to move inside, if he can bulk up and be effective at that 240 weight and can still keep his athleticism there, inside would be really great for that. But again, him operating space there, right? The start and stop speed, the hands, that's hard to find at that size. And you need guys with that skill set. Here he is, operating as middle linebacker here. Looks like he's on a pass rush. Yep. Tracking it down. Good job there. Yeah. I mean, when he's able to just kind of bounce off guys, doesn't have to take on a guy full on, he's tough to stop. Because when you're that big and you have that big of a head of steam with his speed, it's tough for guys to really hold that. So, seems very fast for his size, which is nice to see. Yeah, I mean, he is legit 4'6", I think, is Like low 4.6s, I think, is where he'll live, and possibility to even get within the 4.5s. I don't think faster than like a 4.55. I don't think you'll see that, but pretty scary at that speed. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, and his listed speed, hold on, I missed this play. His listed 40 time of 4.77 from 2019, he plays a lot faster than that, right? So it's like, whether it is like a 4.65 or like a 4.57 or whatever, he plays really fast compared to that initial 40 of the 4.77. Cluckus Gaming, I'll answer that at the end here. Hold on, let's watch this play again. Where is he? Okay. Yep, good breakdown there. Again, his ability to like break down and then his acceleration out of his break, right? So watch this play again. He's going to like shuffle, boom, and then he just kind of, his acceleration is pretty quick out of, like, once he's broken down and makes a decision on where to go, he's really quick at getting there. Like his acceleration in his first couple steps out of that breakdown is really good. And that's important for like explosiveness. That's a true test of explosiveness. How quick can you get towards your top speed? Here, again, this is actually a good play where, yeah, he tracks this one down, right? Shows good motor, but he didn't do that well initially, right? Like he was struggling there a little bit. You can see like this tackle did a good job on him. So you don't want him to be in like this edge situation, you know, like that's just not his skill set of his, is like extending with his arms, getting there. But good motor, you know, good job coming from behind and tracking him down. Like that's a big takeaway from that, just because he didn't disengage initially, you know. So yeah, get him operating as much in space as possible, because his change of direction, his explosiveness, and his speed, take advantage of all of those. And those are all things that you can do really early on, right? You don't need him like muddling around as an inside linebacker right away. That's complicated. That's a very important part. Get him on pass rush scenarios. Get him dropping in his zone. Get him operating in space. Good little shuffle there. Ryan Leone, do you think he'll be a big factor first year? I think he's going to be a rotational player. So I'm not going to say like big piece, right? I think he'll get anywhere like 5-ish, 7-ish snaps, maybe average like 7 snaps a game. I'll say 5. And he'll be a true pass rush specialist. And what I mean by that is when, oh, hold on. Yeah, he just comes flying from behind. That's great. You know, like Ravenswood plays the IMGs of the world. So him to track down a guy like that from behind, that shows really high athleticism. So Ryan Leone will be a big factor. Yeah, I mean, he has a skill set to be exactly what you need in a guy that you can threaten with the pass rush, right? He has that ability. Get him on a stunt, really hard to stop. He has good change of direction. He has the measurables to be just a pure pass rushing linebacker, and also the affinity as a guy to drop into his zone, to like I said, be that threat, right? So he can be that threat to be a pass rush, but he can also drop back into his zone in pass coverage, and he has good awareness there and good hands and good speed to track down any completion in his area. So I think he'll be used. I don't think he's going to redshirt. I think he has just way too high of a ceiling to be there for all 4 years or whatever. So I think he's going to be used purely as like a guy they'll scheme to get on a stunt on a pass rush, or, you know, if they have a ton of just like 8 guys at the line of scrimmage and then drop a couple back into coverage, he can be that guy as well. So I think he'll get, like I said, 5 to 7 snaps seems about right, where those are also the things you have to consider, that you can get him up to speed really easily while you're doing that. Get him comfortable with the game. And a lot of the things that he's good at are the things that don't need time really to develop further at the collegiate level. He can just take advantage of that right away. It's not like, you know, if he's going to be slotted for the middle linebacker position right away, it takes a lot to learn everything, especially in a new defense like that. I mean, it's a new defense for all the true freshmen, but you know what I mean, where there's just a lot of responsibility there. And as a pass rush specialist, there's not a whole lot to learn. get to the quarterback or drop into the flat and use the speeds, use the skills that you already have. All right, I'll just watch this one game, and then I'll answer some questions before we're done here. This is from his senior year, right? Yeah, senior year. So let's see. I'm looking mainly here just for further skill set, like developed. Like, does he look a little faster here? Here he's operating from the middle, getting out on a pass. Good hit. So maybe a little bit more explosive, right? Probably gained a few pounds here. Remember, this is just a single game, so these highlights are actually more likely, like more valuable to judge his like game-to-game performance. Good job there. Again, he's not like taking on a big block right here, right? He's not like blowing up a guy. He's able to bounce off, keep his balance, break down, make a sure tackle. Something we saw a lot, and seems like he's pretty consistent in that area. Here again, passing, or he was on a blitz, but able to redirect, good speed, good angle down the line. And yeah, I mean, I'll say it again, 177 tackles as a junior. That doesn't happen without playing good, disciplined football. You just don't get to the ball that often without having that. Good job. Good closure on that quarterback. This is my biggest pet peeve watching film. They'll show like 7 seconds of guys just getting set before the highlight. Just cut the film a little bit. Wow, look at that speed. Okay. Wow. He has like an extra gear there. I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot. So he's where? Right here. And he just flies out here. Watch this like third gear he gets to. Like right there. Ooh. If he can like harness that, right? Like that is, ooh, God. So he still seemed like a little unsure here, right? Like he didn't trust it a little like early enough. Right? But man, right there, that burst. And then you can see he is, when he's like full speed. So right now, right, he recognized this is full speed. Like he's just going to go, but then he decelerates for a second because he's waiting to see where he reacts, and he changes directions really quickly at the end there. So that's like, I always look for those plays where it's like eyebrow raisers, where it's like, oh, that guy's like a little different, where he's able to do that. Pretty good. Nice hit. Again, sure tackler. See that a lot. Yeah, no, he's a smart player. I mean, Ravenwood is a really good, again, a really good team. You don't start for them and make that many tackles without having good reads. I just want to see him be a little more aggressive in these scenarios, this exact scenario. So you had a guy coming out to the second level here. It's kind of moving backwards there, right? He has to do a little bit better job of putting his body into this guy, not conceding a couple yards. I mean, he does fine to like work off of it, right? But use his arms, extend, and then shift over there. That's just something I want to see a little bit more of. Matthew Groves, you're right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he looks like Matthew Judon a little bit, right? And he's the exact kind of guy where he was a really good defensive end at Grand Valley State, I believe. And I'm not saying that's what he's going to be, but that's kind of how he'll be deployed maybe. Because Judon's like a really good, like, all-pro guy, I think. Good job getting into the backfield there. All right. We'll finish off this video, then I'll answer any further questions. Any comparisons for Colson? It's a tough one. Because there's not really a guy on the roster that he like really compares to. Wow, okay. Look at that speed. Again, when he is like, I feel like we don't truly see his full speed because he's being smarter and like he breaks down, right? He's going like a little bit slower than he truly can to diagnose. And then he's like just there at the right spot. So we don't get to truly see his closing speed. But right here, man, watch this. Waiting. Guy decides to take off right there. Holy cow. He gets to that top speed crazy fast. So the more you can put him in that position, right, get him doing that, because that's like, you don't see guys that size doing that often. So get him on a clean look to the quarterback, right? Get him on a clean stunt. Use that speed. That's what you need. Play style looks like it'll fit new defense. Oh yeah, I already did that. Edge rusher standing up. Yeah, he is the exact guy that you want to be pass rushing. Oh, this is a totally different guy. I don't know who this is. But yeah, that's what he brings. He showed up for me when I watched Ravenwood versus IMG. Yeah, he did good. He did good in that game. It was a little bit quieter for him. You know who stood out more to me? His teammate Miles Pollard from Michigan. I think only recently, like, really is pushing hard for it. But Miles Pollard was a dude in that game. But yeah. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to pull this up, and then I'll answer any questions. You're seeing how it's all made here. Look at that. Okay. Okay, there are a couple questions. Let me get to those real quick. What was the other comparison I was going to bring up? He kind of reminds me of... Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink of water, actually. Give me a second. Reminds me a bit of Jaden Hood, and that's a kind of a cop-out because he's another guy in the 2021 class, but they kind of have similar builds. Jaden Hood slotted definitely more for the inside than that of Junior Colson, but they do have similar frames, similar skill sets. Yeah, I don't know. That's like the best one that I could really come up with. He's just kind of like a lanky in-between guy. Like, if Jalen Harrell, who I expect to be a pretty interesting player this year for Michigan, if he was like a little bit more linebackery. Again, these are guys that we haven't like seen yet, but kind of similar skill set. But yeah, man, his acceleration is like his top skill for sure. Second for me would be his ability to drop like back into coverage. He has good instincts in his zone there. And then number 3 is probably his top speed, which I think is just really good. Are we changing our defensive scheme a lot from Don Brown's scheme? It's going to be really different. But honestly, everyone's guessing at this point. All we've heard is that it's going to be multiple. Watching the Ravens is probably the best film study. I'm probably going to be doing a video where I do like a lot of review of what Michigan's going to actually be like. So going through the film of the Ravens and try to get an understanding of how Michigan's roster fits into that and everything like that. But man, Junior Colson is like a guy who fits really well with what I feel the staff wants to go towards. So in terms of a guy like sticking around to fit in the new system, he's going to he's a great fit for it. So there's no real, it's not like we saw a couple guys leave, right? Like some of the old Vipers. Let me go back. Let's see, from the 2020 class, a couple guys who've already left. Jordan Morant, right? I believe he left. It was kind of weird for me that Osmond Savage left because he was kind of the similar outside linebacker. So it was a little weird for him to go. But I think Junior Colson, playing at a big program, he's likely ahead of a lot of guys, younger guys, at this point. Maybe that just made him upset. The same with like Will Mohan, right? I think he left as well. I did say Uche. Uche's a little bit like, that's like a cop-out, right? Because Uche was kind of like a tweener. I think I like the Uche comparison more for where they were at the time out of high school, but Uche was always going to be an edge rusher. Like, he was just bigger, right? But I think more where Uche is now at New England is going to be where Junior Colson will end up as well. I think just on a little bit more of that linebacker side than what we saw from Uche, who is a true edge rusher. Didn't Jordan Morant leave? I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. No, he's still around. Yeah, no, what am I saying? Sorry, don't listen to me. I was thinking of just the one guy. Was it Will Mohan? I swear. There were a couple of guys that left. Will Mohan entered his name into the portal. Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Sorry, Ryan Leon. I didn't mean to misspeak there. But I thought there were a couple of Vipers who left. And I was really sad about it. Yeah, Reynolds was more of a true safety that left. But anyways. Yeah, I think I was just thinking of Will Mohan. Orakpo? Do you mean Ojabo? Aaron Bryant? Could be. Got to run more zone cover 2, help our corners out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm big on our corners this year. Like, well, let me rephrase that. I think we have more corners on the roster than people are giving credit for. Like, I think DJ Turner was always a guy who was a couple-year project. I think Andre Selden is a guy who can really step up. He just had COVID last year and was also a true freshman. I think there's more guys on the roster than people are giving credit at the cornerback position. But I don't know. Ojabo is probably a good comparison. Ojabo 24/7. David Ojabo. Is that who you're talking about, Aaron Bryant? Although he was bigger, man. Like he was bigger coming out, and he's more of a true defensive end at this point, I feel like. Maybe not. I mean, he's still pretty light. He's 240, so it's not the worst. But he's going to be closer to like an edge. I did not hear that about Makari Page. Makari Page is still around. What do you think of our potential starting offensive line for this year? It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, right? Because Ed Warner, I really liked him, but there's lots of talk about like it was time for him to leave, like some cryptic stuff about why he left, and maybe there was like the GAs were doing better work or something. There was just weird stuff about Ed Warner. Brian Orakpo played for Washington and Tennessee. Okay, different guy. But yeah, our offensive line, I don't know. I like Stuber. I don't think it was weird that our center left for Indiana, right? Carpenter. That was really weird to me. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Because honestly, I think it's good that Michigan has a fifth-year senior guy like Vistardis to kind of shore up the center position, but you kind of want your center to be like the guy throughout the year. He's calling the shots, right? He's calling all the blitz pickups and stuff. So you kind of don't want Vistardis to be there just because he has a lower ceiling than a lot of other guys. But I don't know. Yeah, I am concerned that we haven't heard a whole lot about Selden, Kenny Ganter. Good question. I thought and I'll stick by this for a long time. I think that Selden has potential to be a true outside corner, even at his height. I think he has that capability. And I don't know, Selden, whether he's being used in a nickel situation, maybe last year set him behind a little bit more. I don't know what the situation is. So I think he has a lot of potential. He showed up a ton in all the camps before he came on in 2020 as a true freshman. So I love Selden's game. I just think it's, I don't know, it's weird. So I'm a little weird on that. Okay, I'll answer a few more here. Carpenter was the backup. Vistardis was the starter. Yeah, but Vistardis was like, wasn't he going out towards the end of the year? Like Carpenter was getting a lot of time as well. I don't know. I think it was pretty... I'll say this. I think if Zach Carpenter was still around, I don't think that Vistardis would still be here. I think there's a clear role for him without Carpenter on the roster. With Carpenter here, I don't think we would have seen Vastardis. I don't think that Vastardis is part of the best 5 linemen on the team. But again, as a center, you need to know how to handle blitz pickups. You need to handle different, sort of blitzes, different things like that having a veteran on the line can provide a good safety net initially. Are you buying stock in Zinter? More of the offseason overhype Michigan fans get. Zinter's good. I like Zinter a lot. I'd have to go back and watch my footage on him, but he was a mauler, man. He was really fun to watch. Safeties are going to be really solid this year. You got a good group. Got a good group of safeties. It is a little weird we didn't hear Makari Page after he got, extended run last year. But I like to see RJ Moten getting mentioned. He's a guy that I'm excited about. Then obviously you got Dax Hill, Brad Hawkins. I think you got some guys back there. I still think, I don't know. I think you got a good group overall. Okay, one more question, and I gotta go. There was a question earlier that okay. A little bit ago, Josh Gaddis alluded to the fact he didn't coach all of the little details by saying he's going to eliminate assumptions. I think that led to some of the offensive misery. I would have to see what that full quote from Josh Gaddis is to fully answer that. The weirdest thing for me last year was just how different the game was called for Cade McNamara versus Joe Milton. It was called completely different. Whether they're trying to protect an injury to Joe Milton because he had like a hand thing going on, right? But it was so different and it was very odd. So my stance on the offense is the offense has always had weapons. Last year included, and it's just been more appropriately deploying them, getting into a rhythm, and eliminating mistakes more than anything else on the offense. The talent's there. Michigan just wasn't able to string together drives and just inconsistencies both from the players and from the coaching there. You think Hawkins can be passed up by Morant? No, I don't think so. Not in year 1. We got to have a dope front 4. Dr. Blitz got me scared to send any extra. Don Brown. All right. Final thing. Don Brown was scapegoated from the program. Don Brown deserved to be gone because of his performances against Ohio State. Not against that. The offense also has a lot of weight to bear from those performances and did not help out the defense at all. Don Brown is a top 15, I'd even venture to say a top 10 defensive coordinator in the country. I think there were some very glaring holes left from the 2017 class specifically that really cratered the team, and some really bad games in the Don Brown era that doomed his future at Michigan. Outside of that, I think he was a great coach. I think he was a phenomenal coach. But when you have those games against Ohio State, you could have argued it should have been done earlier after the 2019 game, and I wouldn't have disagreed with you. That's how it is. But Don Brown gets way more hate than he deserves. He's a really, really good defensive coordinator. Maybe not the best recruiter, but he was a good defensive coordinator. And things fell apart for him, and he didn't do what he had to do in the big games. And that's it. But the offense didn't help him. Okay. That's it. Joe Milton. Last one. Yeah, Joe Milton. Hope he succeeds at Tennessee. I'm doubtful. I think we saw who he is. I think he's just a little bit too inconsistent to be a Power 5 quarterback. I think you get him in a Group 5 setting. I think going Group 5 would have been his move. Go to like Memphis. Go to a team that can utilize his legs. Just kind of let him air it out, run around. A little bit less competition. I think he would be able to showcase his arm a little bit more. I don't think he has a consistency at a Power 5 level. Hope I'm wrong. I hope he does really well. Quick question in the QBs. Josh fault because they're not being coached right, or is it offensive play calling? This is the final thing I'm going to say. especially around RPOs, teams were able to hone in on what the quarterbacks were going to do in the gray area. So if a player is in a gray area of whether it's a take or a give read, defenses were always able to key in on that, and the quarterbacks were really, really poor on appropriately judging that gray area of the read. As a result of that, defenses could overplay the give or overplay, mainly the give, where Michigan would play right into what the defense wanted on those RPOs, and that's more of a coaching issue of not mixing it up in those gray area situations. All right, guys, take it easy. Again, I'll post the link to the full video, what am I doing? Junior Colson. There we go. Maize and Brew. I'll post the link to the full video here. Check that out. Subscribe. All those good things. And, Thank you guys for watching again. Wednesday, episode 4. It's already edited. All right, Wednesday. Check out that. Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. I'll be here as well.